Now at 9, a proposal to help resettle about 50 Afghan refugees in the Joplin area.
The investigation into last week's Astroworld Festival is ramping up as the FBI gets involved and dozens of lawsuits are filed. I'm Garrett Tenney in Houston with the details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Dow Quick. Around 50 Afghans are expected to be resettled in the Joplin metro area. A local group handling the Afghans held a meeting in Joplin today to let the area know what to expect. KOAM's Chris Warner was at that meeting and has more.
Refugee and Immigrant Services and Education, or Wreaths, held a public meeting Tuesday in Joplin to discuss what this means for the Joplin area. Wreaths is based in Knoll and helps immigrants relocate to the area. The Afghans could be settled anywhere in the Joplin metro area, not just the city itself. Wreaths Executive Director Mike Newman says there are several reasons they picked Joplin.
Because we have so many faith-based and community support services. We have tens of thousands of people that are attending churches that have a heart for the foreigner. We have affordable housing that a lot of the places, especially the urban cities, do not have.
Newman adds that Wreaths provides extra support to those who settle in the area beyond what other agencies can provide.
But the volunteers don't necessarily stay with the family. So we are unique, as far as I know, and that we're going to be able to have people that are going to surround these people, make them feel part of the community, and really be with them during their stay in Joplin.
Newman says there's a term floating around that describes the Afghan refugees as parolees, but he says that word is different when it comes to immigration terms.
So they're not on parole. They are parolees because they did not get their paperwork done in Afghanistan. So they are over here finishing their paperwork, and then they have up to 2 years to change their status legally through the immigration court system.
Joplin resident Alan Bemo went on 5 separate trips to Afghanistan with a company to provide support to the residents over the past several years. He came to the Tuesday meeting to learn more about the plans on getting the Afghans here and how the community felt.
I was pleasantly surprised that it seemed like generally people are just wanting more information and even wanting to know how they can help.
Bemo says he supports the idea of resettling the Afghans in the area.
If they can come here to America, the land of the free and home of the brave, and set up some businesses here, do business, I'd be glad to help them.
In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Right now, the refugees are at various bases in the United States. Newman says the plan is to begin moving them by the end of January. Authorities are investigating 2 separate shootings that happened in Joplin yesterday. Now, one of the shooting victims is under arrest for a different case. The JPD responded to the first shooting just before 10:30 a.m. on the 900 block of South Conner Avenue. That's where they found 29-year-old Joseph Pryor suffering from a single gunshot wound. After he was treated at a hospital for a non-life-threatening injury, police arrested Pryor on active warrants out of Webb City. The second shooting happened on the 3100 block of South Jefferson Avenue. Officers were called around 5:30 p.m. and found a man with a gunshot wound to his abdomen. No word on his condition. Joplin police are still investigating, but they believe this was an isolated incident and that there's no threat to the public. Let's check in with Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Hey Dow, it actually turned out to be a pretty decent day for us today, even though we did have a lot of clouds across the region. Temperatures nice, 70 was our high. We started at 55 during the morning hours and well above our average high of 61 degrees. We do still have a lot of clouds. We're going to have a lot of clouds tonight. We may get a random sprinkle, maybe a random shower late tonight, but in general, things are pretty quiet. We're waiting for our next storm system out across the western parts of the Rockies to jump over the Rockies and slide in to the central parts of the plains, and that's going to give us thunderstorms by this time tomorrow evening. So, of course, we're going to break that down for you here in just a bit.
Catch you then. The Jasper and Newton County chapter of 100 Women Who Care is helping support the Alliance of Southwest Missouri's Good Dads program. The group today donated $2,500 to the Alliance. The Good Dads program helps fathers build better relationships with their kids and also helps fathers budget to meet family needs.
An opportunity for them to reach out to fathers, to reconnect, build those relationships with those kids, reconnect, learn how to budget, learn how to make all of those child payments. And you know, what a delight to support that charity this quarter.
100 Women Who Care is an international organization of women who gather with the mission to donate money to local charities. Members of the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity at Pitt State are raising money and awareness for area homeless. They're doing so by staying outside in cardboard structures while collecting donations and money.
We are doing philanthropy for our fraternity, but there's a lot that can be done around here, and there's a very capable amount of people out here, you know, to get involved and help the people of this city. I actually haven't been here for that long, but this city's really grown on me in the past couple of months.
You can drop off donations to the guys. They're at the Oval across from the Overman Student Center at Pitt State until Thursday. All donations benefit Pittsburgh's Wesley House. The Oklahoma Supreme Court has overturned a $465 million opioid ruling against drug maker Johnson & Johnson, finding that a lower court wrongly interpreted the state's public nuisance law. The court ruled in a 5-1 decision today that the district court in 2019 was wrong to find that New Jersey-based J&J and its Belgium-based subsidiary Janssen Pharmaceuticals violated the state's public nuisance statute. It also rejected the state's appeal to increase the damage award to $9.3 billion. Spokespeople for Oklahoma's current Attorney General John O'Connor and for J&J did not immediately respond to requests for comment. The lawsuits are piling up against the people behind the Astroworld Festival. Authorities are ramping up their investigation into what caused the deaths of at least 8 concert goers. Reporter Gerard Trojans has more.
The criminal investigation into last week's tragic deaths at a Houston music festival is expanding. The FBI has joined the probe, working alongside Harris County and the city of Houston. It's a complex case with multiple groups under the microscope, including concert promoters, a private medical group, and rapper Travis Scott. Houston's fire chief says it's a matter of who knew there was a problem and when.
The promoter was the one that was in charge of developing that emergency operations plan, and it listed the chain of command, in essence, for who would be making certain calls.
Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo has called for a separate independent review as well to ensure the city avoids any conflicts of interest. Houston's mayor says law enforcement is leaving no stone unturned.
It is about providing accountability from the beginning to the end. Everyone demands and is entitled to answers. There are questions to be answered.
More than 36 lawsuits have piled up against those behind the festival, including the event organizer, Live Nation Entertainment, Travis Scott, and NRG Stadium. The suits claim both serious injuries and emotional distress. One attorney claims cries for help in the crowd went unanswered.
Someone's up on the stage, a participant screaming, saying people are dead, please stop the show, and they continue to go for at least an hour.
Travis Scott maintains he wasn't fully aware of what was happening while he was performing and didn't find out anyone had died until after the show. In Houston, I'm Gerard Trojans, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another four-state hero. Brandon Russell joined the U.S. Army in 2005. The Fort Scott, Kansas native was stationed in Iraq, and we salute Specialist Brandon Russell, a four-state hero. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, the Gerard Trojans prepare for an undefeated showdown against Holton in the state quarterfinals. We're going to hear from the Trojans in sports.
Well, it turned out to be another great day for us today. Temperatures fantastic, right around 70 degrees. Not much in the way of sunshine. Clouds really thickened up as we worked into the afternoon hours. So we have mostly cloudy skies as we work through the day, but in general, nice day, great time lapse. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, storms tomorrow night. Not expecting severe, but a few of these could be stronger. Behind it, we're going to have a freeze by Saturday morning. We'll do the winter-long forecast December 2nd, so a few weeks away which I'll start putting together over the next few weeks. And of course, you can always get my long-range forecast. That's my month-long blog. That is KOAMnewsnow.com. Temperatures have been great. Average highs about 60. We were mid-70s for highs yesterday, and then right around 70 as we headed into the afternoon hours for us today. And we're still looking pretty good. Most of us are sitting into lower 60s across the region. I don't think we'll drop off much tonight, maybe 58 to about 60 degrees as southerly winds will start to kick in, and that will keep our temperatures up just a bit. Looks good. 7th and range line, 63, pretty much calm winds, humidity kind of high at about 81%. We do have a lot of clouds, mid and upper level clouds. These are going to stick around tonight. In fact, we may get a few sprinkles, maybe a random shower later on tonight. Not a big deal. Most of you will stay dry. But most of the Central Plains, we're starting to get those clouds kind of filtering in due to our next storm system, which is in the western parts of the Rockies. And it's this system that will give us showers, thunderstorms, by the time we head into tomorrow evening. So let's break it down for you tonight. Cloudy skies, and you can see a few spotty sprinkles, maybe a quick random shower into the morning hours. Then tomorrow, very similar to today. Mostly cloudy, upper 60s to near 70 degrees. Here's your day planner for you. 59 to start, 65 by noon. High temp is 69, a little breezy. South winds 10 to 20. Here's 5 p.m. Look at the scattered thunderstorms in our western counties, Kansas, Oklahoma side, starting to pop up and then driving east. So by 7:30, this line of showers and thunderstorms will enter the metro area, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Miami, Carthage, Neosho. Again, some of these could be strong, not anticipating severe. They work through, so by 10 p.m., all on the Missouri and Arkansas side, then out of here by the time we head into Thursday morning. But behind it, cooler, so we'll start Thursday in the lower 40s. I think we'll get upper 50s to near 60 degrees. And then on Friday morning, another cold front drops in. Clouds, maybe a few showers, and we'll struggle to get really up to about 50 degrees by the time we head into Friday afternoon. 69 tomorrow, 60 on Thursday, only 49 on Friday, down to 28 Saturday morning. We'll dry out for the weekend, just kind of chilly.
28 Saturday morning. That is definitely a freeze.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid freeze.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up, the battle over vaccine mandates.
The White House is moving full steam ahead with a federal vaccine mandate despite growing legal challenges. I'm Mike Emanuel in Washington. I've got the details coming up.
Blood cancer patients have an increased risk of developing life-threatening illness from COVID-19 infections, even if fully vaccinated. That's according to a new study that found death rates are high for blood cancer patients with breakthrough cases of COVID-19, though the mortality rate was even higher before vaccines became available. The White House is pushing back against legal challenges to an upcoming vaccine mandate. Reporter Mike Emanuel has more from Washington.
And I think that's some of the most noble and exciting work.
Vice President Kamala Harris touring a COVID research lab in Paris while the battle over mandates heats up back home. The White House is now asking a federal court to overturn a judge who put a nationwide vaccine mandate on hold. The new rule from OSHA would have required businesses with more than 100 employees to make sure their workers are vaccinated or face heavy fines. At least 11 states are now suing to make sure it does not go into effect.
They know this is illegal. They know OSHA has no authority whatsoever to mandate these vaccines.
But White House officials are sticking to their guns, saying they like their chances in court because they claim OSHA has always had the authority to take steps to protect workers in, quote, grave danger.
This is an authority that the Secretary of Department of Labor has. This is when you think about grave danger, when you think about 1,100 people dying a day.
It's still not clear if the feds will expand the mandate to children over the age of 5. They've been making a big push to get kids vaccinated after the CDC gave the green light last week. And on Tuesday, the Surgeon General released a new community toolkit to address concerns about vaccine safety.
Spacing out that interval dosing to 6 weeks, 12 weeks actually causes a stronger immune response and decreases the side effects.
And access to vaccine boosters could be expanding soon. Pfizer plans to ask the FDA for permission to give a third shot to all Americans over the age of 18. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Just ahead, holiday travel hitting the wallet.
Millions of people are preparing to travel this Thanksgiving despite higher prices at the pump. I'm Mallory Rivera in Washington with more on the growing calls for the Biden administration to help ease the hikes.
A three-way split is coming for GE. The conglomerate says it's splitting up into three separate companies beginning in 2023. One will focus on healthcare, one on aviation, one on energy. The aviation business will keep the GE name. The company is trying to put an end to more than a decade of struggles, which started with the 2008 financial crisis. The Thanksgiving holiday is fast approaching, and millions of Americans are hitting the road this year. National gas prices are way up, and the Biden administration is under some pressure to take action and bring those costs down soon. Reporter Madeline Rivera has a closer look from Washington.
Ask anyone who's on the move these days, and they'll tell you gas prices are on the rise. According to AAA, the national average for a gallon of gas is 16 cents more than it was a month ago. The association also predicts more than 53 million people will travel this Thanksgiving.
This year, people seem to be enthusiastic about getting their families back together again.
With higher prices, the Biden administration is facing major criticism, even from some members of his party. 11 Senate Democrats sent the president a letter asking that he release oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve and ban exports of U.S. crude oil.
We're looking at all the tools in our arsenal. We're very concerned about the impact of high energy prices on consumers.
While overseas in Scotland, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and a delegation of Democratic lawmakers touted their Build Back Better legislation, arguing the bill will significantly help in the fight against climate change and reduce emissions.
Inaction is really not an option.
Still, the administration is facing criticism about its environmental policies. The Army Corps of Engineers is studying the potential impact of shutting down the Line 5 pipeline in Michigan, which some argue will lead to higher energy prices heading into the winter months.
I invite President Biden to really look at the domino effects of shutting down this line, what it would mean to our economy.
Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm announced the president could take action to address soaring gas prices as soon as this week. In Washington, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.
Coming up, the Mona Lisa is such a famous painting that a replica just sold for nearly $250,000 at auction. A faithful copy of Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa sold today for $242,000 at a Paris auction. Leonardo's original, which French King Francois I bought for the painter back in 1518, that one's in Paris's Louvre Museum, of course. Well, in June, a European collector bought another 17th century copy of Mona Lisa for more than $3.3 million, a record for a reproduction of the work at Christie's in Paris. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way.
An annual activity is helping Pittsburgh State students learn what it means to see the world from other perspectives. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with those details.
The January 6th Select Committee investigating the Capitol attack subpoenas several members of the Trump 2020 re-election campaign. I'm Natalie Brand with details on who they want to hear from and what they hope to learn.
Pitt State professor is continuing a tradition of teaching students about new cultures and stepping out of their comfort zones. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky has more on how the once-a-semester cultural simulation helps students see through the eyes of others.
Pittsburgh State professor Grant Moss has lived all over the world.
I've lived in Spain, I've lived in Ecuador, I lived in Chile.
It prompted him to help the Pitt State community learn about and be more understanding of different cultures through a simulation called Bafa Bafa.
The whole idea of the cultural simulation is to teach people that you have a lot of cultural baggage, so to speak, and you have biases, just you grow up with them.
Moss splits up the room into two groups with their own languages, customs, and rules.
Each group then has these different lenses, and so when you go and you visit the other culture, when you come back and debrief, you're using that lens. So that is what's so powerful about it is you learn, oh my gosh, I've got years and years of biases.
Moss says it's a way for students to understand what it's like to feel alienated or confused when coming from one culture to another.
For many years, we've had a lot of international students here, and so they feel kind of lost. And so it's a way for you to have empathy to see, oh, I never realized this is what somebody might be feeling.
Pitt State student Tiara Wallace says she plans to go to Spain next summer, and this activity helped prepare her for the culture shock she may experience.
I think this was a perfect opportunity for me to get out of my comfort zone and experience new things. I'll be there for a month, and just allowing myself to have an open mind of experiencing new experiences, and also allowing the country just to overwhelm me with the new and different opportunities that it has.
Students discussed what they learned from each other's cultures. Moss says he hopes it'll help them have more empathy towards others. In Pittsburgh, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
The simulation will continue again next semester. What began as a live auction for wreaths and other holiday decor has expanded, but its heart is still in the holidays. The annual Festival of Wreaths took place today at Crowder College in Neosho. The event draws four-staters interested in bidding on clothing, electronics, household items, and of course, wreaths and other Christmas decorations.
Well, I'm excited. This is my first year in this actual role. So I've worked in the office 8 years, but this is my first year to be the assistant director, and this is my little project, and I love it. So I've enjoyed every facet of it so far. So
the auction benefits Crowder scholarships and other programs. Last year it raised more than $91,000. Reading can be very important for young kids and their development, you know that. So the McDonald County School District is challenging parents of young kids to help them read 100 books before kindergarten. As part of the program, the district is offering mobile book checkout stations where parents can pick a book to read every week. If they follow the program, they'll hit 100 books before the child starts kindergarten.
This program does is it lets them take books home, and so they're learning the responsibility of bringing books back, taking books home, but then it's also giving them time to read with their families. And so they're short books, they're board books, so it usually takes maybe 10 minutes.
Book checkout locations are available at Southwest City Elementary and Knoll Primary School. Folks in Miami, Oklahoma have a chance to learn some relaxation and balance techniques. The Miami Public Library is offering Tai Chi classes hosted by Rick Pulley. First class was offered today. There will be other classes on November 16th, 18th, 23rd, 30th. In December, there are classes on the 2nd, 7th, 8th, 9th, 14th, 15th, and 16th.
It does help with range of motion. The one thing about Tai Chi that I do like is it's personal to a person. When they learn it, it becomes them. Everybody does it different than each other. They may know the routine, but they look different doing it.
The program is federally funded by the Institute of Museum and Library Services. House lawmakers investigating the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol want to hear from more people linked to former President Trump. Reporter Natalie Brand has the latest from Capitol Hill.
The House committee investigating the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol has subpoenaed several top-level members of the 2020 Trump re-election campaign. They include former campaign manager Bill Stepien, senior advisor Jason Miller, and executive assistant Angela McCallum. Also on the list, the former president's attorney John Eastman, who incorrectly advised that then Vice President Pence had the authority to overturn the election results, according to the Washington Post. Former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn was also subpoenaed, in addition to Bernard Kerik, an associate of Rudy Giuliani. The former New York City Police Commissioner is demanding an apology. He says the committee chose to, quote, publicly defame him. The House Select Committee is looking into reports that some of the former president's campaign aides set up a so-called war room in a D.C. hotel in an effort to overturn the 2020 election. Congressman Adam Schiff, who sits on the panel, has said anyone who defies subpoenas could face severe consequences.
Whatever penalties are necessary to ensure compliance. Depends on the person, but it could mean jail time, yes.
The House has already held former advisor Steve Bannon in criminal contempt, a case that's now in the hands of the Department of Justice.
Attorney General Merrick Garland said there's an ongoing examination of the facts and the law. There's a separate legal fight launched by the former president over White House records leading up to January 6th. Mr. Trump has sued to keep them private, citing executive privilege. If a federal judge does not step in, the records could be released later this week.
Federal judge tonight rejected former President Trump's request to block National Archives from turning over records to the January 6th committee. This afternoon, the Select Committee issued more subpoenas to 10 former administration officials as part of its investigation. Those include former Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany and Senior Advisor Stephen Miller. The European Union accuses Belarus of acting like a, quote, gangster regime as thousands of freezing migrants camp on the Polish border. Poland has accused Belarus of attempting to orchestrate a crisis on the EU's eastern frontier by funneling migrants to the border in retaliation for sweeping sanctions imposed on Minsk in June. Belarus has repeatedly denied the claims, blaming the West for dangerous, sometimes fatal border crossings and poor treatment of migrants. A bit later, honoring unknown soldiers for a century.
For the first time in almost 100 years, visitors to Arlington National Cemetery have a powerful opportunity. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Arlington, Virginia. I'll tell you more coming up.
Nice day for us today. Temperatures pretty good, right around 70 during the afternoon. We did have a lot of clouds, especially during the afternoon, but overall it turned out to be a fantastic Tuesday for us today. Nice time lapse, Indigo Sky, Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Thunderstorms tomorrow evening. Most of the day is going to be dry, but moving in tomorrow evening into tomorrow night, behind it, colder air works in, so we'll have a freeze by the weekend. We're going to do the winter forecast on December 2nd. So about 3 weeks away. Of course, you can get my long range forecast, my month-long blog. That is KOAMnewsnow.com. All right, mid-70s yesterday, so it was fairly warm. We still topped out right around 70 for us today, and temps across the region look pretty good. We're sitting into low to mid 60s. I think we'll only drop back upper 50s later on tonight. Southerly winds will start to pick up later on tonight, and that's going to kind of keep our temperatures up just a little bit and also give us pretty good temperatures once again for us tomorrow. 63 winds are calm. Humidity is at 81% at this point in time. A lot of clouds out there, which are going to continue to thicken up as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight due to our next wave, which is centered right across the western parts of the Rockies, which are going to slide over the Rockies and then into our neck of the woods by the time we head into tomorrow evening. I think most of tonight looks pretty good. We may get a few random sprinkles or a random shower late tonight into tomorrow morning, but most of you will stay dry. And then tomorrow, very similar to today. A lot of clouds, upper 60s for afternoon highs. Let's look at your day planner for you. 59 to start, 65 by noon. Then up to 69, a little breezy, south winds at about 10 to 20. By evening, here's 5 p.m., thunderstorms start to develop in our western counties and then plow off toward the east. Not expecting severe, but some of these could be a little bit stronger with some gusty winds and some very small hail, a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning. These will be into the metro region by 7 to 8 o'clock and then quickly push through. Most of this is going to be gone by Thursday morning. We're going to cool down behind this system. I still think upper 50s to near 60 on Thursday. And then we'll get a secondary cold front, which is going to roll in Thursday night into Friday morning, giving us some clouds, maybe a random shower, and then that keeps us even colder by the time we head into Friday. I think most of us about a half an inch to an inch of rain, so pretty good amounts with this next storm system, but then we're kind of dry for several days. We get those random showers Friday morning. Friday's just going to be chilly, upper 40s for highs. Heading into the weekend, pretty good freeze by Saturday morning. But I think most of the weekend looks pretty good. It's going to be a little chilly, but not too bad. 69 tomorrow, 60 on Thursday, only 49 on Friday with those morning showers. And then we clear out for the weekend. Kind of cool. High temps into the low to mid 50s.
Low of 28, kind of cool.
It's getting there.
I think that's cold.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, reaction from former Fort Scott Community College football players after the school announces the program's termination. Plus, Gerard hits the road to Holton, aiming to move on to the Final Four. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Fort Scott Community College announced the termination of its football program on Monday evening. That announcement came just 24 hours after this team's season ended with a playoff loss to Independence. Now, in a release, the school gave a few reasons for ending the program, including limited resources, changes in Jayhawk Conference eligibility rules in 2016, and, quote, the changing ethos of football in general, end quote. So now, a program that's been around for nearly 100 years in Southeast Kansas is gone just like that.
I've coached a lot of guys that have went there, played there myself, and just to think of opportunities that'll be missed because the program is gone, it's a sad day at Fort Scott Community College.
Hearing that they're not able to compete is just sad. It's more than just wins and losses. If you can better a man and his family, get him a chance at higher education, and to see him succeed not just at FSCC but beyond FSCC, I think speaks more than just wins and losses.
Now, the school says that while the program has ended, they will still honor scholarships for players who choose to stay in school. You can check out our full story on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, the Gerard Trojans are one of just 8 teams remaining in the Class 3A state football bracket. Gerard hits the road to Holton on Friday with a spot in the Final Four on the line. Now, this game is a good one. Both teams are undefeated heading into Friday, each sitting at 10-0. The Trojans, though, feeling pretty good, coming off 3 big-time wins against Frontenac, Caney Valley, and Parsons.
I thought the Caney game was a big game for us, coming back from obviously an emotional win probably for a lot of guys, and against Frontenac, big win. To not have a letdown and get out to a good start on both sides, I thought that showed some signs of maturity on our team, and then just last week against Parsons, they did some things that, some adversity early, and we handled that. We kind of settled in. So I think we've got, a relatively mature group as far as preparation goes, and I think, that starts with our captains and leadership there, seniors and upperclassmen, and I think we'll be all right as far as knowing what's ahead of us, and we got to prepare like we do each week.
We watched some film. We know that they're a strong team, good looking. They run the ball quite a bit. We're going to make some adjustments on defense, but I think it'll be a good game.
Tonight is the opening night of the basketball season for the Kansas Jayhawks. Kansas kicks off the year at the State Farm Champions Classic at Madison Square Garden in New York. The Jayhawks enter the season ranked number 3 in the nation. This game is final. Jayhawks get it done in their opener 87-74. Ochai Agbaji game high 29 points tonight for the Jayhawks. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after the break.
Today and tomorrow, the public will get a rare opportunity. They'll be able to lay a flower at the tomb of the unknown soldier, the first time in almost a century. Reporter Lauren Blanchard is in Arlington, Virginia with more.
It was a very special moment to be here.
For nearly 100 years, approaching the tomb of the unknown soldier has been off limits for visitors of Arlington National Cemetery. But for 2 days ahead of Veterans Day, people can pay their respects and leave behind flowers.
This is really the first opportunity in 100 years for the general public to be able to get as close and personally connected with the tomb.
Very somber, very quiet, reflective moment, I would say.
In 1921, the tomb was created with the remains of an unknown American soldier from World War I. Later, remains from a World War II and Korean War soldier were added. Today, the white marble sarcophagus represents those who gave all.
The love for our country, the love for our patriotism in our country hasn't died like so many people do think.
The old guard stands watch in the rain, shine day and night. For many military families, these 2 days are a special opportunity.
I come from a military family. I just want to pay honor and respect to them.
Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton, who served as an Army combat soldier, also laid a flower.
The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier itself is now become our national place of mourning for all those who have lost a loved one in the fight to defend this great nation.
On Thursday, President Biden is scheduled to attend a private Veterans Day ceremony at the tomb. In Arlington, Virginia, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Up next, a new TV show is offering high school students a chance to check out college campuses around the country without leaving the house. A new TV series is helping high school students to virtually travel across America for an inside look at colleges and universities as they decide where to apply. Reporter Ashley Dvorkin has the story.
I first heard of Del Val through one of the football coaches.
The new series on Amazon's IMDb TV, The College Tour, offers high school students the opportunity to check out colleges and universities around the country from the comfort of their own home.
Every school is so different down to the people, the culture, the location. And so we just try to bring all that into a story that people can absorb. And, the biggest thing for us is that we want this to be free to watch for any student, parents, no matter where they live in the world.
The show launched back in October and aims to help families cut down the cost of visiting colleges in person.
The financial outlay for the average family to go outside of their state or outside, it's like $2,500, a lot of money for them to go and check out a new school. And so we feel like this series is allowing, whether it's the students to watch it on their phone or parents to sit back and watch it on their television screens, tour the country, right? And get a sense before you make that decision to jump on a plane or travel across.
Each episode tells the story of a different school in a unique way.
It's told in a very authentic way through the lens of real current students, sometimes alumni, and even faculty and staff. We are working with the university from the get-go. So in that casting process, it's just like casting any television, any reality show. And so we go out there and sometimes we have an idea that, we really want to tell the story of engineering or athletics or whatever it is about the university. And then we start looking for students who have great stories to tell.
Think of Davis as the middle of everywhere.
The College Tour Season 2 is available to stream now on IMDb TV, as well as the College Tour app and website. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of leopards at the Santa Barbara, California Zoo. Let's make it a great tomorrow.